the protocol for the 12 different sports over time, over the years, like, I've seen a lot of different athletes from a lot of different sports, and then having that tied in with my athletic background and my fitness trainer knowledge and qualifications, I've seen what the athletes were going through. I see the things that were kind of missing in how sports massage was given to the athletes, and then I've taken and made these sports massage protocol treatments that are based on their movement, based on the nuances of how they use muscles and how to keep those muscle balances optimized for peak performance. So that's kind of what we've done for these different sports.
Hello again, everybody. Back to you again, John D. Healy, with another podcast and another guest. Guest was on before. I'll come to him in a minute after I do my promos. I'm doing podcasting because of this book I wrote for my good friend Stoney McGurn. It was at the start of the lockdown, so I had to get into podcasting to promote the book. People do ask me, is Stoney still alive? I was at a mass last week and I met a couple of older women, and they had bought the book, they read the book, they loved it, and they said, is Stoney still alive? I said, he is. I took some photographs. I showed them to Stoney, and he said, my God, are these women still alive? So it's like I'm stock taking. My sponsors are Liffey Van Lines, a moving company here in New York City, and they've been around a long, long time. Commercial moves like offices, like my guest on the moment, and household long distance, and we do ship overseas, ship into Ireland and California and Texas. So wherever you want to go when it comes to moving, let Liffey do the lifting. Another one of my podcast friends was lifting recently, and he lifted some boxes, hurt his back, pulled some muscles. I'll come to that with my guest in a moment. Always let Liffey do the lifting. The Irish Examiner USA, Paddy McCarthy, is a good friend, and his paper is really, I enjoy it. Catch up time, what festivals are coming up, and there's a big festival coming up in the Catskills. Patterson was on here a few weeks back, and she'll be on a podcast coming up in 2 weeks. Terry Patterson is a friend of Paddy McCarthy, so lots to talk about if you're into music and dancing and all of that. You'll get to catch up with the Irish Examiner USA. Now, my guest today is no stranger to here. He's been on before, and we did talk about a lot of things. So, Adam Cardona, welcome back to It's Good to Talk. How you been? It's been 3 years since I saw you. You look younger.
Doing well. Thanks for the compliment. We're doing pretty good over at Elite Healers. Things are, I can't complain. It's been going good since I last appeared on the podcast. And in fact, we've moved into a bigger space.
Okay, tell me about the bigger space. I know Liffey Movers did the moving. Thank you for being wise enough to hire a professional company for professional business like yourself. So from one professional to another. So tell me a little bit more about the difference in this space and the old space. You're still kind of in the Park Avenue area.
Well, it's we moved across the street into a bigger space. We wanted to kind of be able to grow dynamically as a full office, and the availability of more rooms was one of the things that kind of got us into it. The spaces are much bigger, allowing us to have better treatments and have the proper equipment that we need, the little extras as well. So I think it was the right move. Also, we went into a medical building, so it's a place where you can get your physical therapy, you could go to the dentist, and you can get a sports massage all in the same building. So
Right.
there was a whole bunch of little things that just made it nicer.
Well, I think that's always a good idea from the point of view of like health and wellness. So when people know that where you are, it's all about health and wellness as compared to your old office, which was nice. I was there several times. But as you said, you could be going to a real estate broker, you could be going to a massage therapist. I prefer the whole health and wellness concept because it all links in. So I did get some questions in. I'm glad you're still close to Park Avenue almost. You only moved half a block, literally. So let me get some questions. So I did congratulate you. Now, somebody said they heard you created a sports massage protocol for athletic and 12 different sports. Expand on that for me, please. Yeah.
Yeah, so the protocol for the 12 different sports over time, over the years, like, I've seen a lot of different athletes from a lot of different sports. You begin to see certain things, and then having that tied in with my athletic background and my fitness trainer knowledge and qualifications, I've seen what the athletes were going through. I see the things that were kind of missing in how sports massage was given to the athletes, and then I've taken and made these sports massage protocol treatments that are based on their movement, based on the nuances of how they use muscles and how to keep those muscle balances optimized for peak performance, which is a little bit different than just being the average person every day to day. So that's kind of what we've done for these different sports.
So correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know everything. So if someone comes to you and let's say they are a tennis player, let's say another person comes, to you and they play golf. So the tennis guy, his movement is that way, we say. The golf guy is something different. Is that what you're trying to explain to me, or am I wrong?
Well, it's a little bit of that. Yes, they're moving completely different because you'll think of golf as more of like stationary to feet, but more rotational. So you're getting a lot of hip movement, you're getting a lot of shoulder and spine movement, while in tennis, you're turning directions, you're changing directions. The way you move your arm is different, even when you look at the difference, like tennis elbow and golfer's elbow, they might both affect the elbow for they're from completely different movement patterns. So I've taken into account all of that, common injuries, common issues, and geared the sports massage to not only react to stuff, but to help prevent and optimize, which I think that was the missing component. And that's why I've spent these years just kind of developing and refining it so that way I could give it as a protocol to everyone on the team so
Okay.
they could be just as qualified to handle the most elite athletes.
Okay. Well, another one reminds me there. I had Michael D. McAndrew on here. He is a sports journalist, and I did ask him a question about football and rugby. Okay. So he did correct me, and I'd like to be corrected about making a comparison in terms of what I was talking about was more in the socioeconomic, that the guys that play rugby are doctors and lawyers, and they're different from the football players, okay, that Irish football players, they do it for the love of the sport. But in each case, it's a contact sport. And the rugby seems more physical, and the football, somewhat physical. To you, are both the same, or are both,
No, there's
who's
gonna
more
be
prone to get an
nuances.
injury?
There's nuances in that, just like there's nuanced differences in squash, tennis, and pickleball. So it's like the weight of the racket, how they move. What's repetitive more than others because the sport is different. It looks different. The mechanics can be slightly different. So you'll look at one area, they might be utilizing because of the equipment's heavier. They might be having more injuries to the wrist, forearm, and shoulder while the other one, they'll require them to lunge deeper. Like I'm just
Okay,
thinking of like a tennis and a squash because I haven't fully built a protocol for rugby just yet. But
okay,
this is why when you look at the nuance of stuff, yes, there's similar things. Like a tennis player and a pickleball player do suffer from similar injuries, but
okay,
like the weight of the racket, the ball, the movement. Also, when you're looking at how they train, so pickleball people tend to be more casual, while tennis people are a little bit more aggressive with their coaches and everything.
okay,
So a person that's like just doing a recreational, they stand a higher chance of injuring themselves. So you
okay.
get more preventative for simple things like that.
Okay, well, back to Michael D. McAndrew again. Another question. The last time I had you on, we did a lot on anxiety and stress. So the guy playing, we say, football in rugby, there's no goalkeeper. In football, the goalkeeper, but he's pretty much stationary. But I would imagine his stress level is higher than if he was out in the field because he's trying to anticipate where the ball is going to come from, where he should be in that. So he's standing around maybe a lot, or it looks like that. But yet his brain is more focused. So I know the last time you explained to me in terms of how massage can help with stress and de-stressing, and even we went on to talk about trauma and shell shock. Could you expand a bit on that, please?
Well, with someone like a player like that that's waiting for defense, they have to still be hyper aware. You can't take away their hyper awareness in the sport, but what you're looking at when it comes to stress and stress reduction, you're looking at after. Can they turn it off? Can they manage to then go into a relaxed state? Some of these athletes, especially when you go on the professional level, they're so hyper competitive that they can't turn it off. And that's why sometimes they look to like you'll find these scandals of where, like, let's say they were drinking and then they went driving because they're trying to wind themselves down, or like smoking pot or something, and so they find these other ways to try and relax themselves, or even prescription drugs, which is not good for their performance overall, will have side effects. So you want to get them to be able to turn off when it's time to turn off so that way they can recover. And getting like a sports massage might be more specific to what they need for the sport, but they can look into like a cranial sacral or a Swedish massage to get them to more relax, to de-stress.
Okay. So my guest today is Adam Cardona of Elite Healer Sports Massage Therapist. We are talking about football and rugby and everything that connects that with sports massage. When we did mention Michael D. McAndrew, and I know he doesn't suffer from stress, but the Mayo football team, they always seem to relax at the last 5 minutes of the game. And that's not a good thing because then all the audience gets stressed up. and think, oh my God, they lost again. But as Hitler said, if you win, no need to talk. If you lose, you shouldn't be there. Anyway, I hope Mayo does something this year. So let me see what else we got. I think I'm going to call on Jimmy to sing a song because I have a whole list of questions here to go through. Anne-Marie is asking me about the benefits of sleep. Should she sleep before the massage? Should she sleep after a massage? I don't know, Anne-Marie. I'll ask Adam that one in a minute when I come back. And somebody else, Paul Mooney, I think, is asking about food. He said, ask Adam about eggs. Jesus Christ, will we ever get away from eggs? Ask Adam, does he prefer brown eggs or white eggs? Okay, I'll hold that when I come back. Jimmy, please sing a song for all my guests.
Oh, the little boats are gone from the breast of Anna-Liffey. The ferrymen are stranded on the quay. Sure, the Dublin docks are dying and the way of life is gone. And Molly, it was part of you and me. O'er the strawberry bed, sweep down to the Liffey. You kissed away the worries from my brow. I love you well today, and I love you more tomorrow. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now. Sure, the Liffey ferry made a man of me. Now it's gone without a whisper, half forgotten even now. And it's over, Molly, over, can't you see? Where the strawberry bed, sweep down to the Liffey. You kissed away the worries from my brow. I love you well today, and I love you more tomorrow. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now. Now I'll tend the garden too, and I'll spend my days in talking. Hear them whisper, Charlie's on the dole. Now, Molly, we're still living, and darling, we're still young, but the river never owned my heart and soul. Where the strawberry bed, sweep down to the Liffey. You kissed away the worries from my brow. I love you well today, and I love you more tomorrow. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now.
Hey, thank you very much. Jimmy is getting older and older and older. When he started singing on It's Good to Talk, he was singing and he was only 9 years old. I don't know how old he is. Jimmy, don't forget, I won't forget your birthday. I'm back with my guest, Adam Cardona. Let's remind my guests your new address, where you are now. You can put that up.
120 East 56th Street. So we're just between Park, right off of Park Avenue and Lexington Avenues.
Okay.
We're just right there around the corner for anybody who's
So your regular people know exactly where you are, and the new people will find you, of course. Let's go back to those questions that Anne-Marie had about sleep. How important is sleep? She wants to know, should she rest before going for a massage, or should she really do the massage and then go home and go to bed for 12 hours?
Sleep's very important overall. If you don't get sleep, your body's going to deteriorate and fall apart. So you shouldn't be avoiding sleep. Now, if you have trouble sleeping, if you're trying to get a massage and have trouble sleeping, you're not going to be, let's just be honest, you're not going to be able to sleep before the massage. But as you take care of your issues, especially if you're going there for a problem, let's say you're just a regular person, you're not athletic, but like you has a neck problem at some point and it causes you not to be able to sleep, so you should come in and then get a massage to take care of those issues. That will allow the body to come out of pain, which then allows the nervous system to go into a rest and digest mode, which is like the opposite of fight or flight. And like if you have too much physical stress, your body will be in the stressed mode of fight or flight. So you want to get the massage to take care of that to be able to get some sleep. Some people, you'll see it, we call it the massage high, is when a person gets a massage and they kind of get woozy and groggy and pretty much ready for bed. It's like they're stoned without smoking a joint.
Okay, all right. Well, similar question, not totally, but Pat Burke has asked me about, I guess he travels a lot and he does get a massage here and there. And he's on about painkillers. And he's asking about, should he take painkillers like before a massage or painkillers after massage? Me, I wouldn't do either, but it's a question from Pat Burke.
Well, with painkillers, one of the things with painkillers is you shouldn't take painkillers before a massage because then you won't have the proper signal feedback because it's
Okay.
not just going to stop the pain, but it's going to dull the messaging of the nervous system to tell your body, if something's bad. So if you're on painkillers, you can receive too much pressure that's not good for you, but not be aware of it, and then
Okay.
wind up getting hurt by the massage because you wanted deep tissue, but your nerves are totally like numb. So what you should do is come in, get them. If you're really in bad pain where you can't even lay down on a table without being pain, take care of yourself. Go see the doctor before you come to lie down on a table. Then when you come to lie down on a table, let's say it's modest pain, but it's like muscular or something like that, then you could lay down on a table. But let's say it's like organ pain and like you're sick to your stomach, don't get a massage because that could be that could end the wrong way because like let's say you could vomit or it could be indication of something worse, so you really have to know when to come in too. If it's normal muscle pain, then come in, we'll make you better, that'll help you sleep.
Okay, well, that's a good answer for Pat Burke. Pat Burke is one of these people too. He sits in his big truck and he leaves the engine idling. I don't know if that's good for the truck or good for Pat Burke. Anyway, so that's one question out of the way. And the other question we had from somebody was they want your opinion on, do you prefer brown eggs or white eggs, or you don't have a preference?
I don't really care about the eggs. I care more about the quality of the eggs. I don't want chickens that have been eating corn and soy because that's not a part of the natural diet, stuck in cages. That makes like the whitish yellow, pale yellow kind of yolk. But like when they're in their natural environment, able to roam around, eating bugs and other stuff off the floor that their diets are supposed to have, that makes the eggs rich in like nutrients,
Okay.
and those are the better quality eggs, like free range, organic. And we need the cholesterol from eggs because our brain is made of something called myelin, which is a form of cholesterol. So without enough cholesterol in our blood, our brains are going to deteriorate because we don't have the fatty source of cholesterol for our brains.
Well, I get eggs from Rhode Island, and I think that's probably, there's a breed of a hen called Rhode Island Reds, and to me they are the best eggs because the egg yolk is like it's more like redder than that.
That's what you want.
That's what I get.
That's healthier.
When I don't get those, I get duck eggs all the way from upstate Mayapack. But the ducks went on strike lately for some reason, so I'm back to hen eggs. Anyways,
Yeah. If it looks like orange juice that's been mixed with vodka, that pale of a yolk, that's not good for you. If
no.
you're gonna use the orange
Well,
juice,
if
it
I'm
has to
going
be
to
more like
do
pure concentrate orange juice.
okay, well then, if I'm going to do vodka and orange, I'll do vodka and orange. But if I'm going to have a duck egg, I'll have a duck egg. But everybody's asking me about eggs. Okay, the price of eggs are coming down because the hens are laying. So back to another question I did have is like people might think that you only specialize in sports and athletics and all that. Well, let's say anybody can go to you if they have like Tom Sanchez from the Print Group. He's lifting boxes, he said. So that's only a once off, probably a muscle ache, okay? He should just go for that because he knows it's muscle.
Yeah. Well, we specialize in medical massage because athletes get injured, but everyone else gets injured too, so we can deal with all that. So we're
Okay.
less like a spa where you go and you get hot stones and hot towels and stuff. We don't do things like that. We're more like closer on the massage side to being like physical therapists, with even the office setup, a very medical professional like that. So it's just a matter of what you're looking for. So like let's say Tom Sanchez had hurt himself and he has some back pain and it's all pure muscular, then he should come in for a medical massage, but basically we'll do the intake, and when we're finding out like your health history and what brought you in, he'll be able to tell us it's back pain, tell us the source, how it happened, and then we'll be able to do a treatment for lower back pain. I mean, on the website, I have a whole web page, just one page dedicated to lower back pain and how we specialize in it.
Okay. Yeah, somebody actually else, I think it was Maria, is another different Maria. And she said that she listened to some of your tips from before about things she can do herself. Like if she's working on the computer and her hands, she said she got something like on her wrist, not tennis elbow, because that's further up, but on the wrist, like, yeah, okay. So I think you helped her with that, she said, how she can do her own thing. And somebody else had a problem with, like walking that way. And that was something to do with the neck and the brain. And you were able to help them massage their neck in a way, like exercises, turning right to left. to keep them focused, a bit like an alignment in a car, so it's not going off on an angle. And that's another compliment that came in for you as well. So let me see.
Well, thank you.
What didn't we cover yet? So we got your location, and congratulations on that. And will you be having a big official opening, or you just smoothly run into?
Well, we're setting everything up. We're probably about 90% complete, so we're not even thinking about hosting anything like a grand opening or anything just yet. So we'll probably look to like June or July to have something
Yeah, like
going,
midsummer.
especially
Yeah.
like today's what, the 3rd of May. So yeah, we'd be looking at that once we're all like settled things are nice, then we'll do something like an open house or something in like
Yeah.
June or July. But what
Yeah.
they
And
should
maybe
do
give out
is like
some.
I'll leave the website, I'll give you the website to leave in the description,
Okay,
and then they can just go there and get on the newsletter and stay up to date if they
that
want to
sounds good. And
keep
maybe
up
get
on.
some, inquire about some specials and offers and stuff like that that people are always kind of curious and interested about. Next week, I will have another podcast on where you'll be interested in this. It's called kinddeeds.org. And those are soldiers back from the Ukraine who have lost limbs and legs and arms, and it's all to do with prosthetics. And I'll be speaking with Dr. Dimitri about that. I did mention it to a few people that it's coming up. And they, like yourself, they have a lot of questions to ask the doctor. Like they want to know, how much does it cost to get a prosthetic arm or leg? Okay, joke here. It won't cost an arm and a leg, but I will find out. Where are prosthetics made? No, they're not made in China. If they were, they wouldn't fit, they'd be too small. Actually, most prosthetics are made in the USA, and there's quite a process in that, and I will be talking to Dr. Dimitri about all of that. In the meantime, if my listeners want to check it out, kinddeeds.org, and you'll see the many soldiers that have been made physical and well-being again, as you would be well interested in. And I'm sure there'll be questions for the doctor there, and maybe you yourself will have questions. And I guess we'll be talking about other issues like the bionic man, connecting the brain, as you said, to the body. If you have anything to add to that, you can please.
No, but one thing I wanted to add is I'm bringing on some real talent onto the team, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find people that have athletic backgrounds that are all licensed massage therapists. But like for example, two of the newest people I brought on, one is Stephanie. She's an athletic trainer with 25 years experience working with athletes and helping people get into shape, working with like celebrities and other high name people. And so now I'm bringing her in, teaching her like the sports massage system. And then I have this other guy, really amazing guy. He was a monk for a number of years doing Chinese medicine and doing massage and Tai Chi and Qigong, and just recently came to the States. And I just brought him under because he just got his New York license. And so I'm incorporating him, and this guy's skills are masterful because you can feel. I received a massage because I have to also, like, aside from a traditional interview, I have to receive massage before I take him on the team. And you can feel like his 20 plus years of experience working on people in his hands. I feel like he brings a spiritual aspect. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find all these top level people and then bring them in and teach them my process of how to really serve athletes. So that way we create like a recovery team, a sports massage team that's second to none.
Okay,
And
well,
I'll
I'm
be
glad you mentioned that.
being the best in the entire country for that.
Okay, well, it's always good to put that out there because the word goes out. You're looking for professionals and professionals only. I know Liffey are looking for professionals too, only professionals, drivers in particular. We have enough other staff, sometimes too many Indians, not enough chiefs. Chiefs are important. So Elite Sports Massage are looking for licensed massage therapists, and Liffey are looking for licensed drivers, not moped, scooter drivers, truck drivers with a proper license and good physical fitness. So I think we'll round up. I think we covered everything. And if anybody would like to go back to the previous interview I had with Adam Cardona, you can scroll back there and you get Adam Cardona. We did deal a lot on stress and anxiety on that one. And the general benefits of massage, like just feeling good and being good to yourself. It's important to be good to yourself because that you're number one, and be number one to yourself and always treat yourself to a massage. Or I'm sure Adam has gift vouchers if there's somebody important in your life that
Well,
maybe. Go ahead.
they can buy that on the website, elitehealersportsmassage.com. Also, if they want to follow us, they can follow us here on YouTube at Elite Healer Sports Massage. We're also on Rumble. You can follow us on Instagram. So you can show up for a treatment in our Midtown offices, or you can follow us for knowledge and amazing stuff because I put out stuff regularly as well, so people who are interested in fitness and learning more about taking care of themselves, they do well to follow me.
Well, I did mention that in the previous podcast we did a couple of years ago, that you are very generous with your knowledge, and that's good that you share it with people, even if they don't have the time to go. There's certain things they can do themselves, but definitely if they feel the stress, the ache, the pain, don't suffer it. Do go and check it out before it goes too far. And thank you very much for being on. It's good to talk. I look forward to having Dr. Dimitri on next week after this podcast, indeeds.org, and we'll put up your information so people can get in touch with you. I sign off in my native language, Shin Scale, that means that's a story. Agus Space Scale, that means that would be another story. So Adam, thank you very much for being on.
John.
Thank you very much. And till we meet again, I'll meet you soon. And good to you, okay?